And we're back, everyone. Well, at least I'm back right now. Swanee is still at the bar talking to Dernan about something, and I know exactly how this is going to go. But hey, welcome to Flagon. I am Oliver Redboots, and that over there is Swan. Swanee!
Yeah. Here we go.
We went live! Again? Really?
Yeah, okay, I'm back.
Dude, that doesn't catch, like, just... You don't think that's a huge waste of the spell?
What?
It was, you just zapped in 37 feet.
So what?
I'm just saying that it seems like a little bit of overkill. I mean, don't get me wrong.
If I don't get to do it here, am I really going to get to do it during the day at any point?
I don't know. Are you?
No.
You just, like, not even zipping around the
If
floor?
I don't use it, I'm going to lose it. So,
well, I guess by that rationale, you should definitely use it.
yeah.
So hey,
Did you do
everyone.
the intros? Okay.
Well, I mean, kind of. Like, I get distracted by your use of, like, random magic spells in the Yawning Portal.
Right.
I mean, like, there's 4 people that are allowed to do that, and I guess now you're one of them.
I guess so.
Do you understand, like, exactly how mad Dernan would be at me if I decided to just up and use magic in here?
Well, because you destroy stuff.
God damn it, man.
I mean, hey, you know.
You really had to put it just
It's all right, just put it
out there bluntly
Yeah.
like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. You know the thing that I hate about it the most is you're not wrong.
I know.
And I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. Well, hey everyone, this is Flagon. I, of course, am Oliver Redboots, and that now joined me is Swan Maulsmith. Hey, Swan.
Yes.
Where can they send the birds to you at again?
You can send the birds. I am Swan Maulsmith, safety officer at the Temple of Gon. Praise Gon.
Praise God, Swanee.
You can send us birds to the Yawning Portal at Flagon. You can send them to me at S. Maulsmith or Smallsmith. You can send them to Oliver Redboots at Oliver Redboots.
And that's me. And here we are, another fine day. You know what? It's really weird. I had a boring-ass week.
A what?
A boring-ass week.
Really?
Like, literally nothing happened. I had a few drinks, drank some coffee, had a couple of visits with Vincent, and we just discussed, and I did literally nothing. Finally, no shenanigans throughout the week.
I was surprised that you skipped that meeting that we had at WCCC.
I couldn't do it anymore, man. I was like, if I'd have walked in there, and if I saw a fruit basket guy, I might have just imploded him.
Okay, well, he wasn't there.
Yeah,
But I mean, I appreciate the precaution.
You know, I just couldn't control my anger and rage. Although it was a delicious fruit basket, you know, it's just still not worth it for me. You know, what if I go in there and I say, oh, look at him, I'm going to squeeze him to death with telekinesis, and then I go wild, and then boom, and I blow up the library. I just decided that maybe I should stay cool and stay at home this week.
You know what this is?
What?
Growth.
Yeah, it only took, 70 years?
70 years.
Yeah. But, hey, man, you recognize that chap at the bar?
Which one? Not the gnome? The gnome?
Is that not the dude who's in all those cults?
Oh,
God. Grabs his balls. No, what's his name? Baldy Balls?
Balthazar. Balthazar? Balthazar.
Bizarre Balls. Bizarre Balls. Hey, Bizarre Balls! No, that's not it.
That's not it. Although you
Shit.
did get some people looking at you, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, I did just scream Bizarre Balls.
Yeah.
In the
No, he's fine.
No, your balls are fine. I'm sure they're fine.
Nope,
no, we do not need it. Please keep your britches on. No, the little one next to you, could you just tap him? Right. Oh my God, that is him. Holy shit.
Go get him.
All right, I'll be right back. So, all right, I don't know. Should we explain this? Hey, before you talk into the and just
You have to
a
talk
conversation.
into the stick.
Yeah, see the thing inside the ale flagon in front of you? That is what we are talking into because people in other places can hear it.
You know, I always thought of the 3 of us, the first to go mad for meddling with powers beyond my understanding, would have been me.
Actually, yeah, I believe I agree with that statement. But in this particular instance, you're not going mad. But I think some basic introductions are due, right?
Yes.
So, could you just one more time with your name? Because I know we get it kind of like screwy every single time.
Balthazar.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So, if I remember correctly, we have seen you quite a few times, right?
Oh, yes, I've seen you around a number of different, cults.
Cults, yes.
Right,
you were
usually right at the
what
end.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. You were in the cult of the Black Hand, right?
Yes, that was a couple of years ago, but, yes.
Oh, it must have been at least a decade ago, right?
Oh, time flies. You kind of lose track of them after a while. Cult of the Black Hand.
Lose track of them?
Well, yes, the cults.
How many?
I mean, I keep a tally, but they all can run together after a while.
I mean, I remember you from the cult of the Black Hand.
Right.
think you were also in the Cults of the Yellow Sign.
You were not in the Cult of the Yellow Sign, were you?
I was, though I was kind of on the periphery. I was actually...
Right, you were... No,
I
you were
was
a
out
candle holder.
Right,
Yes.
yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, I was
Wait a minute,
actually...
you were in both of those fucking cults?
Well...
Is that even
indeed.
allowed?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's a community of people, and... I mean... I was actually in the Cult of the Death Undying as well when you guys came by.
That one.
You were not in that cult.
Well, I was out on field work at the time. I didn't even realize it was you that had destroyed it until a few weeks later.
Well, destroyed it's a little strong. All we
it's
really
not.
did was kill the guy who was wanting to bring
We
back
literally
Vecna.
killed almost everybody.
Well,
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Everyone?
Yeah, that caused a
Almost.
bit of a stir, if you could kind of draw back on that.
Well, I did. All right, cool. Cult of the Undying,
Yes.
Cult of
Death
the Yellow
Undying.
Sign.
Yes.
Death Undying, whatever, man. Like, how long did that one really last?
Well, I mean, not long after Thud beat the Lich to death with his own phylactery, but...
Oh, that's the one.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right.
I totally forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
Yes.
That's right.
He was inside the piano, and he was like, oh, no one will ever think that my phylactery's inside a piano. And
No, well, you know, you really
He
can't.
didn't. I don't think Thud realized that was a piano. To be honest with you, I mean, I think
He just started
something
beating
I
the
could pick
lich.
up and throw at somebody.
yeah, it was very efficient,
Yeah.
as it goes.
Well, I mean, if anything, he is very efficient at beating the shit out of things with other things. But the Yellow Sign one, I do remember you were a candle lighter, or like you.
Yes.
I remember very specifically that you had a candle, and
It was kind of part of the theme, you know. You gotta have your stick for the
like
color.
yeah, lots of yellow robes,
Yep.
lots of creepy like humming.
Yeah, it made us a bit visible, really, all the candles in the yellow.
Yeah, that was
it's hard to
not-
blend in a bar. When
Not
you're...
a very good cult, that one. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even remember what your thing was for that one. It was like, you're trying to, like... It wasn't like just some elder gaudy that, like, a lot of people thought it was just, like, to the color yellow. Right? Was it? I don't remember.
You know, I didn't actually get very high up in that one. They didn't let me in on all the details. There was a lot of the color yellow, though. I had always assumed it was for an elder god, but they were a little
Is that
light.
the one where you had to take the classes and get to get higher up? And learn
Yeah,
more?
well,
Okay.
Did they charge you for the
donations.
classes,
Yeah.
though?
Well, of course, if you're going to, like, move up, you need to contribute to the cult.
Well, why would you... If you're part of an organization and you wanted to learn more about it, why would you have to pay for that?
Well, I
That
mean,
seems counterintuitive.
if you're part of the university, don't you pay for classes at the university?
Gotcha
Good
there.
point. I mean, yeah, I think it all should be free. Yeah, you're right.
It's just kind of... It's like, think of it as a university, but instead of, you know, learning how...
I don't love this analogy. 'cause
yeah,
it seems like
I don't-
we've been breaking up universities for like the last 30 years.
Also, how do you graduate? Do you get to form your own cult or your own university?
forming your own cult is very dangerous work.
So
I
that
would
you've been in
recommend that.
3 cults that
course.
I'd known of,
Well, at least, yeah, certainly.
at least.
Well, I'm sure we saw each other around and a few more before I recognized that it was you. know.
That can't be possible. Like, we've broken up a lot of cults,
We
right?
have,
That
quite
we
a
had
bit.
like a small little a few years span where that was literally all we
It was
did.
kind of we almost specialized in that for a while.
Which was strange. It's like no one specializes in a thing as adventurers, but we got the call. Like, hey, come! There's a cult in our backyard, and there's like
Boom,
we were
there's another one.
Oh, yeah,
Boom,
we
there's
actually had
another
some notes on you during that time that you were quite active in the...
Really?
cult- Yes, of course.
So you guys would take like anti-cult people and like know our thing?
Well, I mean, you're adventurers, right? You have...
We were. We're semi-retired now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
I
not,
see.
We're not in the business anymore.
Oh, what?
Oh, no, I'm just, well, like, you keep track of giant monsters that might eat you, right? There was a Volo fellow who always comes out with the big books of, like...
Again, he's
various
making
things.
a lot of
I mean,
sense.
this is yeah.
Right, we keep books of, like, what might come
I mean,
and kill
I
us,
find
and it's
Volo
mostly you guys.
extremely pretentious, but yes,
Yeah.
we did. I guess that's a fair point. If there was a thing that was going around killing all the cults, you'd think that they would be like, "Hey, watch out for this thing," right?
I have questions. I have a lot of questions. First of all, I kind of want to know what was in the book about us. Like, what was in our notes? What was our what was our file?
I know it was in my notes. It's clearly extremely good looking, super powerful, right?
I mean, yes, there's some basic notes about, like, you know, what your abilities are, who you are, what you look like, and then, like, who you travel with, and things to watch out for. Like, you know, Swans always says, like, you know, he's a cleric of Gond and really into forges, and
Right.
don't try and pass off any, like, forged, like, fake weaponry on him. He's going to know it,
I mean, that checks
so
out.
careful with your ruses with this one.
Yeah,
And, you know,
right, fair.
that's sort of
I imagine-
highly dangerous with the
I bet
clerical magic.
Thud's
you know.
note was like, "He will hit you with stuff."
Avoid it all
Yeah.
costs.
Large.
He'll hit you with stuff, with
Yeah.
people, with
Striking
literally anything
radius
around.
is the length of your friend. Yeah.
So that can't be your only question, though. Like, I have some questions too, but do you want to go first?
Well, I mean, what are you doing here?
Oh,
That's a
I'm
good question too.
keeping watch on the portal. Actually, I should. Can I? Is it okay if I sit on the other side of the table? I should really keep an eye on the.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah,
Shift around.
Keep an eye on.
Okay, yeah, sorry,
So you're
sorry.
trying to keep an eye on the well
Yes. Well, yes. That's
to see who comes up or to see who
who
goes
goes
down.
down. Really. I mean, there's.
Are you in another cult?
I mean, I'm kind of doing some freelance work right now.
All right.
It's not a specific cult, but I mean, there's a couple of cults.
How does one freelance for a cult? It's like-
I mean, I'm not the only. There's a whole market in it.
Really? There's
Yes.
contractors who just contract and freelance
Of course.
themselves out
I
to
mean,
cults?
if you're in a cult, it's a very high risk, right? Because you lot come around and tend to kill people a lot.
Now, I don't know if we just killed them wantonly, did we?
Well,
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought we were the good guys.
I mean,
The cult of the dead undying. What was it? Cult of the
death undone.
Death-
death.
Undying.
That was not a good cult. There was zombies and
No.
undead were everywhere. I remember Swanee just going off in that dungeon with that cult. A lot of undead, just
Yeah.
I mean,
kid at a
this is my
candy
thing,
store.
you know?
yeah,
I mean,
right. Yeah.
That was actually kind of a relief when you came through.
it was like a cult of target practice.
It's a lot of work.
I can imagine. So, Cult of the Undying. Now you're doing freelance work.
Yes.
Freelance work, and you're checking out who goes down the well.
Right.
Why?
Well, I mean, there are a number of cults that are operating in Undermountain, right?
All right, I guess that's
And
true.
if there's a group of adventurers coming along, you kind of want to know about that.
You're the lookout.
Yeah, I'm on shift, so there's kind of
So
a group
you're
of us. and we
feeding
rotate.
information to the cults of Undermountain about the size and scope of the adventuring parties that are being lowered down the well?
Yes.
And Durnan is okay with this?
Well, I mean, I didn't ask him. Hi, I'm a representative of several cults. Is it okay if I hang out in your bar?
When you say several cults, that is,
It's Undermountain.
He's an information broker.
I guess. I
You
mean,
know? I mean, he would fill it in quite well in Sigil.
are we okay with this? Like, I feel like we should
Part
have
of the
problem-
game, man.
All right.
I mean, it's certainly not just me who does it. Like, there's a shift. You keep watch on the portal. I don't know if Durnan knows. We don't really approach him about it. It's kind of a difficult subject to
Yeah, I
breach.
wouldn't. I'd avoid that actually at all costs. Like, don't bring that up to anybody. Don't tell them that you're secretly spying on the adventurers that are going down the wells and feed them news to
You're
a cult.
probably going to need to come back here in some kind of disguise, if I'm honest. I mean,
Yeah, well,
people are listening. Adventurers do listen to this. They
Yeah.
might want to,
listen to what exactly?
the
You know what? Don't even worry about it. It's no
okay,
problem.
yeah. You know what? Never mind. Forgot I said it.
So we personally, our group of adventurers, has broken up at least 3 cults that you know of.
Yeah, well, yes, at least.
At least. Okay, now, Swanee, do you remember any of the other cults that we had a problem? Because, I honestly, I have to tell you, when people would tell me their names, I had a way of just butchering it because I didn't really care about the thing that they were doing, like the cult of the death and dying or whatever.
Well, let me give you a hint.
Cult of the yellow
How many
lamp
toes
switch.
do you have?
Well,
No
on which
way!
foot?
No way!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes, so please answer the question.
I'm-
How many toes on your right foot?
Well, 2.
I knew it.
That wasn't the number.
Yeah. No,
was
it was
3.
called. It was
Did
called.
something happen?
Well, it was 3
toes,
because
right?
you had to donate the 3
okay.
toes
I got
to
that
the
part
cult.
confused.
Called
All
to
right.
the 3 toes.
3
Yeah.
toes. You had to
Why?
donate 3 toes.
So I know. I know. I guess I know the basic premise was you had to remove 3 toes.
Yes.
Did it matter which foot, or was it like a
No.
specific thing?
It didn't matter which foot, but they were rather particular about which toes. Like, you
Really?
can't just give them the little ones. 'cause
Okay.
That would be my go-to toe, I guess.
I mean,
Right.
First,
little, and then take a ring. But how do you decide which 3 toes? Like, what's that?
Well,
thought
it kind
process?
of it influenced your status within the cult. You know,
the
Alright.
more toes.
the bigger
The bigger the
Like, if
toes,
you're
yeah, the
giving
bigger
the
the
good
status.
Yeah,
toes,
but you can't walk without a big toe, right? I mean, it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, it was easy for us to track them down.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of people.
Just follow the limping guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's what we did.
So, like, who was the leader of the 3-toed cult? Do you even remember that?
No. Probably the slowest one, if I'm honest.
I honestly have no idea where was that cult. I don't even remember. I do. All right, so I vaguely remember the 3-toed cult.
Right.
They were in the south somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like,
They're in Dockward.
they were in Waterdeep.
Yes, of course they were.
Holy
in
shit!
Waterdeep.
I don't remember. I don't have any recollection of that.
All right. Well, yeah, they were
The 3-toed.
an old brewery in Waterdeep.
We thought it would kind of blend in with being around the dark war. There's also people limping for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair, right? I mean,
yeah, I
again,
can't
there's
argue
some
with that
thought
logic.
there. There's some thought there.
I mean, we try, but
Right.
it's all part of the game, you know. You're going to get caught eventually.
But what was the goal of the three-toed cult? Like, were you trying to make sure that everyone had 7 or less toes?
You know, it was actually for a lich, and he was...
They're always for a fucking lich.
Yeah.
Is it, so, like, what percentage of cult would you say is just lich-born or, like, involved in lichdom?
Oh, I do. Let's see, a percentage. It's
High?
It's not that. I mean, there's a lot of demonic cults, but that's really a young man's game, so I don't get into that much anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Wait, demonic cults are young? Oh, I want to put a pin on that. I need to come back to that. But, like, no. Really, like, how many cults are lichdom?
Well, the nice thing about liches is they do live forever, so it's not quite as many unless the lich gets destroyed. So, but I mean, a solid percent, maybe 20%.
Oh, that's lower than I thought it would be.
I think Waterdeep is probably a little bit more enriched for the lich cults.
Oh yeah.
You think it was
Demonic
easier
cults are really not as much.
to make their phylacteries here,
Yeah.
probably, right? Yeah. And then, so, but more demonic cults, right?
Yeah.
I imagine there should be some devil cults. Were you a part of the devil cults?
Yes, though there's a lot of paperwork with those. It's very solid work. If
I've
you're
noticed
looking
that.
for it. Are you? Are you looking to get into the game?
No.
Are you sure? 'Cause I heard a rumor a while ago that you...
I have friends who
No.
are devils, and they're very insistent about like where you sign in the documents and like
Yeah.
what you're signing away. It's exhausting.
Well, I just heard a rumor a while ago that you had been doing some work for the Castle Lanterns. I thought.
Yeah, they don't pay.
Oh,
It's not that
no,
they don't pay well;
No,
they don't pay at all.
They don't. No.
Maybe they
Bit
gave
of a
me that
rookie
magic
mistake
item,
there.
Swanee, and it was like bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, they don't pay anyone. That's why they can't get any good cultists to work for them. It's kind of more. It's
Wait,
not
are
really
you
like
suggesting
a
the
cult.
Castle Lanterns are in a cult?
No, they're more like a gateway. It's people who are looking to get into the cults are like, ooh, the Castle Lanterns are doing something interesting, and then they don't get paid.
They're so like they're cult.
And then they get-
That actually explains a lot. All of the
Really?
symbols and all of the drawing we had to do to
Right.
summon the devils.
Yeah.
But I can't go to any good cultist to work for them, so they're getting people who don't really know their cult work particularly well, and it always goes sideways.
Oh God, they're
But
so
it's a great way to
exhausting.
recruit. You find people who've worked for the Castle Lanterns, and they're usually open to some opportunities.
God, that was so boring. So, all right. What did I want to put a pin in? Young man's game.
Young man's game.
Why exactly are demonic cults a young man's game?
Oh, mostly for the wanton murder.
Right, I guess that would be
I mean,
tiresome.
right to the point. I love
Right,
this guy.
yeah. And if you only have 7 toes, it's probably difficult to do now, right? You can't chase down women and children.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of it's a profession that wears on you a bit.
Right. Not a lot of 40-year-old demonic cultists. Yeah. It's like bum knees trying to chase down villagers.
Exactly.
I get it. Like I don't want to.
The cultist dad bod is just all kinds of
I
bother
don't
now.
want to sleep on the dungeon floor. Are you out of your mind?
Seriously.
But if
Too
you're
old
looking
for
to get
this
into a
shit.
cult, demonic cults are all over the place. They're a dime a dozen.
Really? What's the most popular demon that a cult is? Is it like like clearly like Demogorgon's got to be at the top of the list, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And then what's his name? The dead guy. What's his name? All the death stuff. He gets a skull, staff. Orcus. Orcus is probably another
yes,
popular one.
Yes, lots of liches working with Orcus too.
Really? That's like
I mean-
necromancers, right?
Right,
Ugh,
yeah.
God.
Hey, can I ask you a
laziest form of wizardry?
bit of a out of the blue question? Like,
Sure.
how did you get into the cult life?
Oh, I mean, I was, looking for something different. I mean, my father was a chimney sweep, and his father was a chimney sweep, and his father was a... You can see where this is going. There was a lot of chimney sweeps.
come
And I
from
just
a long
really
line of
didn't want to
chimney
climb up chimneys at all. So I was kind of,
I don't blame
looking
you.
for something
All right, I get
different.
that, but
I mean, is there a lot of like forward and upward progression in some of these cults? Like, I feel like you've always been at least like a lower level guy every time
Well,
we've seen you.
sure, but really you want to cap out at like mid-level management. Like that's, I mean, for career longevity, that is. Sure, there's a lot of prestige in running a cult, but then you lot show up and, I mean, every cult you've destroyed, what's been your kind of like MO?
Yeah, we always cut off the head of the snake.
Right.
That's right to the top, right?
fascinating.
We don't ever
So
like.
you get up to sort of like middle management. You sort of qualify for some of the treasure cuts. or
Right, learn some
whatever.
basic necromancy.
Right.
Right.
Thing breaks up. Do you have cred that you can take to the next cult? Or
Yes,
do you have to start from the bottom?
Right, no, you,
Is cult a street cred?
Yeah.
well, you get known in the community and like learn your basic demonic rituals
Yeah.
and things like that.
So you bring a lot to the table to the next cult.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But no one's looking to slay you in particular, right? They're looking to slay your boss.
Right, Right. Because as
really?
soon as you lot cut off the head of the snake, as you put it, you know,
You're-
oh, well, we've dusted this cult, we're done here, and, you know, you move on, and it works out for us, and it works out for you.
And
You're
then
like a cultist tradesman.
Yes.
Or a yeoman. You're a yeoman of the cults.
Yeah, so you're like a master cultist.
Yeah.
Right? You just go around culting. Is it
It works out
culting?
pretty well.
Cultist? Culting? Whatever. So right now, freelance work for cults inside.
Yeah, I'm kind of between cults.
You're between cults right now. All right. So, like, are you eyeing any future cults? Like, you're like, this one could be the one that I think is for me?
Oh, I'm keeping my eyes open. There was actually you were talking about liches earlier. There was a lich that was recruiting recently, but he's a bit too young for my experience.
How
taste.
does a lich recruit? Is it like flyers, or is it like an underground network?
Where do you
Word
learn
kind of
about
goes
these other cults? Like, what's the network like?
I mean, you get to know people in the community, and you look out for. I mean, sort of the same thing that you guys do. Oh, there's a bunch of people in dark robes with a bunch of daggers. That's weird. They're either a thieves guild or a bunch of cults. But instead of going in and trying to break things up by drop a couple questions,
My God, I didn't know it'd be that easy to spot them.
I mean, makes sense.
you look for the limping guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
If you can find anyone who was in the cult of the three toes, it really.
This
Is there
a
anyone
giveaway.
Good
any
network.
left? Are there any three-toed left?
Well, I mean, I'm here.
No, I mean, I guess. Is there any upper-level management of the three-toed cult left, or is it more of a defunct cult now?
Oh, it's certainly a defunct cult.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like,
Wait,
you
no,
guys
you
go in
killed-
and you kill the head of the cult. If we
That's
kept
right.
on culting,
Right.
then you would feel the need to come back and...
And do it again.
Right. So it's kind of... You don't... This isn't like... Because we talk about this all the time. This is like, that's the pact. Is you guys kill the head of the cult and we stop doing our thing. So
And
that
then you move
don't-
on to a new cult.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we talk about cults at all, except to say, "Ugh, we hate them, and let's go get rid of them."
Yeah, well, I guess then it's working out on our side.
It really is, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to recruit a cult member.
No. We've always kind of been the...
Anti-cult cult?
I mean, hired. We're
Dude,
typically
are we
hired, and
also
it's kind
a
of a
cult?
short engagement, if I'm honest, right? Because typically they're not that hard to find, and they're not. I mean, the head guys, you get to them soon enough. Like, we can sort of break. I mean, it doesn't take us very long, if we're honest.
No,
to break up a cult.
and I guess imagine, like, if a cult is at the level of needing our attention,
Yeah.
right? They've probably gotten to a certain level. And can I ask a question of us, Swanee?
Okay,
Are we a cult that just happens to kill cults?
that's deep. That's deep, Boots. No, we're not. We're adventurers.
Okay, all right. I'm just
we're
worried.
more like hired guns.
Yeah, I know there's a laundry list of things that differentiates
Right.
a cult from a religion, and just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a specific person that wants to be worshipped.
Nope,
We're not
nope,
trying
nope,
to
no.
raise any
I mean,
kind
you
of
do have a
extra-
specific person who wants to be worshipped.
yeah, but he's a religion, and we went through this.
No,
There's
I
a
mean,
whole laundry
but I'm
list, right? Yeah.
We're not exclusive.
Oh, you got the tax exempt status.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
taxed
yeah.
him. Right.
Yeah,
And
so he
has
knows.
more than 50% of the right, like that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Can't get that as
They
a
actually
cult.
have a really great documenter over the Temple of God that I
Oh,
use every now and then to do my taxes.
I mean, they have to. It's
Yeah.
quite the process.
Shout out Slow.
We almost got it once in one of the cults I was in, the tax exempt status. 'Cause
Really?
We try. I mean, we try, but the rules are exhaustive. on all the different
How close
things.
did you get?
We almost had it, but they got us on the ratio of dogs to sentient people in the organization was too high.
Yeah.
Too high?
Too high. We had too many dogs.
Too many dogs.
All right. Like,
Yep.
what were you doing with all the dogs?
Oh, they were actually hyenas. It was a cult of
That's
Yeenagoo.
not a fucking dog, man.
Well, canine?
no.
They defined it that way.
They
I
did?
don't know.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
I can
God,
see the bureaucracy.
Really have to talk to one of these.
Got us on the
brokers.
technicality.
Yes, dude, that's terrible. A cult of Yeenagoo can get all away with oh no, those are dogs. They're not murderous hyena demon things?
Well, they weren't demons yet, and that was the problem. If we had managed to convert them into gnolls, then they would have been sentient creatures, and we would have passed the bar, but they were still hyenas when the inspector came and
That's terrifying.
lost our tax-exempt status.
It would have been really awful to have a cult of Did we didn't take care of that one, did we? Was that us?
No, we actually financially collapsed when we lost our tax-exempt status.
I guess that could happen too. Huh?
Hadn't set aside money for the taxes.
Yeah,
lot of-
every time.
A lot of overhead with all those cages
Yeah.
for the hyenas and the food.
Importing them is actually really expensive.
Yeah, I imagine they eat constantly and shit
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Like you have to
eat
hire
constantly,
cleaners,
yeah.
right? Like what? So if you're
eat the caravan.
like that low in the totem pole of a Yeenagoo cult, I imagine it's just a lot of shoveling shit.
Right, and that's really the thing. Like, if you're going to join a cult, like, learn a skill before you get into a cult.
Right, don't
This
just
is
be a
good
basic
tip. This is
laborer.
a good
Yeah.
tip for
Yeah.
non-adventurers right here.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that's a tip
Learn
for
a
everybody,
trade.
right? Yeah,
Ply your trade.
yeah.
you don't have a trade, you're going to be shoveling poop.
Right.
Or maybe find an entity to like make promises to give you power, like our warlock friends.
Sure.
Really? That's what that's where we're steering people.
Well,
to get
I mean,
cult,
it's a
promise your
thing.
soul to somebody else.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't need to be malevolent. It could be like a creature that doesn't want to kill. All right, never
Grazed is
mind.
usually recruiting if you do recruiting. Ha, that's a bit of a
Is it called
inside
recruiting?
business pun.
Ew.
So it's like how many? What's the level of warlocks in cults? Then it has to be higher than normal, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there's most of the like upper levels. If you're finding a cult, like those aren't guys who have been in the business like super long because they haven't learned that like you don't want to be in charge of the cult. So there's a lot of warlocks there.
Like mid-level management is just mostly
Mid-level management is mostly people who are self-taught because they realize there's a bit of longevity. And like really, if you're a warlock of Grazed and the cult gets broken up by some adventurers, you can say, "Oh well, thanks. This has been fun. I'm going to go work for Asmodeus now."
Wow, it's that easy?
No,
No, you can't.
not.
You can't do that.
like
That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Well,
You're kind
I-
of stuck.
is-
It really narrows your career
Yeah,
prospects.
you're really committed.
And just for younger adventurers, Gratz is the six-fingered demon guy, right? Who's kind of like really into like S&M and like weird shit, right? Is he's the one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of a handsome, 10-foot tall.
The purple skin and the
Right,
whole thing.
right. And
Yeah.
Asmodeus needs no introduction, right? I mean, come on, right? If you don't know who that is, read a book. All right.
Hey,
This
why don't
is
you stick around? I
yes,
need a drink.
a lot to digest,
A lot to
right?
digest.
I mean, it's good to see you in a non-combative situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I don't even remember. We didn't actually try to kill you, right? Like there was no spells thrown your way.
I mean, not after the first few times. Once I recognized it was you coming, I generally knew that it's time to pack it up.
Yeah.
And dipped out real quick.
Yeah, pretty much.
That checks out. All right, so let's go get drinks, Swan. This is a lot.
Yep.
And I'm so lost and over my head with this because cults are just. I always found them so drab, right? Isn't
I
it
mean,
like?
there's a lot to learn here. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's organized.
I know. I just didn't expect it. Like I always thought we just go into the place and we just blow everything up and just shit down on everything.
I mean,
stab
that's
and-
usually what you do,
Yeah, that's
but
the part we do.
yeah.
Right, but we don't do any of the interior decorating or the reculting or well, like
It's like
all
what we
of
learned
that.
with the Swede brothers, right? There's a lot of thought that goes into a dungeon, a lot that goes into a cult.
And then
Oh, you know the
assholes like
Swede
you and me
brothers.
just come and ruin it. Sorry, what?
You know the Sweet Brothers.
Oh, of course you would know the Swede brothers.
Yes,
you have worked with them several
You have to
times.
do all of the, I imagine, all of the dungeon buying from them, right?
Yeah,
Or the
they're
kobold
good
network.
resource.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they do all this work, and assholes like you and me and just come and ruin it.
Yes.
But all right, I mean, well, there was the wanton murder too. Like it's not like we were just stopping them to just stop. them.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
All right, let's go get drinks, and I need. Holy shit, I really need a drink this
Yeah.
time. All right,
All
we'll
right.
be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Please stick around. You're gonna stick around too, right? Ball Bazaar.
Sure.
All right, cool. We'll be right back.
All right.
All right, and we're back, everybody.
And we're back.
Hello, Rod and Flagon. Send your birds to @Rod and Flagon to @S Maulsmith. That's Swanee over there. I, of course, am Oliver Redboots, and we are joined by Balthazar. I apologize for not getting your name right for probably the last 20 years or so.
I'm sorry. I do have a question, really quick. Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I know. Let's just skip that part. all right?
Okay.
So if you'd like to send your questions to me and Swanee, we will happily answer them.
We give advice sometimes.
Younger adventurers.
Young adventurers give advice, ask questions, and we respond.
Is that what the stick is for?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Right,
I'm
right.
on board.
So if you go
did
to,
you
like-
make this?
I did.
The stick?
Yeah,
Oh, you
well-
did.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he did. I didn't
Interesting.
really.
I mean, if you're ever looking to make some cash on the side, I know a number of people would be very interested in this.
I mean, come by the temple. We make stuff for people. We don't ask.
Right.
I don't know if you want to be doing business with random cults, buddy. You might want to. No.
I mean, we can't foresee every usage of every single magical item, right? I mean, technically, somebody could buy my see-in-the-dark goggles and be a thief and break into houses. Like, we don't vet everybody.
So you don't mind if I bring this to a couple vampires?
Dude.
Okay, well, that changes.
Yeah, that changes it a little bit, right?
I would
I'm just
mind.
saying. Oh, okay. Well,
Also, if you could just write down the location of where these vampires, and I'll deliver them to them.
there's something. I have a tingling that you might not be being totally forthright.
That's because I'm not.
Oh,
I'm gonna
well.
like go. Okay, there are two things that I hate more than anything else in life.
Yes.
One is necromancers. I find them droll and boring.
Oh,
right.
oh.
The other thing, vampires. Because it's like
There's
what
kind of
are-
a bit of an overlap there.
There's a lot of it overlap, but like,
Yeah,
you're
no.
like, no sunshine, you assholes. Your whole problem...
It does get a bit dreary.
Yeah, right. You can't even go into someone's house unless they ask you politely if you want to come in.
I actually like that rule.
What is this shitty rule? You're not that powerful if you can't enter. If a door can stop you from entering and no one says, no, please come on in, sir, you're not that powerful. You're just not.
You're polite.
But, well, oh, so that's the gauge? It's like, oh, we'll let the murderer in as long as he says please and may I come in? Hello, I would like to drink all of your blood and turn you into a servant. Knock, knock.
I mean, if I can say no.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you say no, they can't come in. That's
Right.
the whole point. That's the whole point I'm making.
Let's not knock this. I like that rule.
I mean, all right, never mind. We're going to have to degree. I hate vampires, is my point.
Or
I
keep
just
that.
don't like them, and I'd like to turn them all into dust. It's just a silly undead. Like, mummies make way more sense to me. I don't know exactly why.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. It's like you were a king, and you want to live forever, so they, like, make you into, like, some type of undead creature that can still travel around the tomb. Like, that's dope. It
You
doesn't
have to wear a weird suit and...
Yeah, but they don't have to ask to go into the bedroom. They can just fucking roll in.
Yeah, mummy's kind of like a vampire that you break into their house.
Damn it, I never thought of that, but that's brilliant.
He's got a point.
I can't argue with
He's
that.
not
kind of logic.
wrong.
No, he's not.
I'm a vampire who's really more of an introvert.
Yeah, right,
I
like, so
just
the
want to...
degrees in this, right?
right.
But I still think mummy's cooler than vampire, because vampires are just like, they can turn into a bat. How many...
Mummies can't do that. That's fair.
No, but like, bats are just, they're not tough. They can't even fly that well.
They're
Like,
pretty sneaky, though.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely creepy, and like at night they can be like they have that thing. But like, wouldn't you rather turn into like a raven or to like an eagle, something that's well versed at flying and can travel at great speed? No, you have to turn into a shitty bat that flies slow and can barely move in a
I
straight
think it's
line.
at nighttime. Like, I don't know if ravens fly at night.
An owl would be a way better
Owl
choice.
would be
then,
better.
right?
Yeah, we need some vampire owls.
Yeah, do we? Yeah, we really do. If we're gonna have
Raise
vampires,
your game there, vampires.
we need
It
to
does
up
kind of
their
upset
game.
the aesthetic, though.
I'd be a
No,
black owl.
the aesthetic is what I find like more obnoxious. Like you have to play dreary like organ music.
I don't know
right?
if they have to. Is they just kind of enjoy it?
I think it's just hard to get a piano tuner to come at night.
It's important. It's,
But like, is that really the what you're after? Is this like, oh look at me, I'm dressed in black? It's the same thing with necromancers. Vampires and necromancers should be tight friends, I think.
it kind of sets the tone, though, don't you think?
Ugh, no, I just don't like them. All right,
I
I'm
do
sorry.
think necromancers should dress in more of like a pastel palette.
Why
if I'm
not?
honest.
No one would expect that.
Right.
If
What
you
do
showed up with a bunch of zombies,
Necromancer!
right, and they're wearing like scarves, right, and they're brightly dressed,
Yeah,
and they're
you'd be like, necromancer's not so bad.
Yeah, oh man, hang on. This goes back to the whole point. Like, if you hang out with a bunch of elves, you're gonna have a boring ass time. You hang out with a bunch of orcs, it's gonna be fun as shit, right? Same concept. If a group of necromancers came in here and they had like, I don't know, banjos or some shit, and they were wearing like brightly colored floral print shirts, we'd be like, this looks really this is promising, right?
Yeah.
If I
they
end up
come
in a cult of banjos, I don't know that I'm going to be able to forgive you for this, but...
You did not have a cult of banjos.
No, but I'm saying that you're planting that idea in a bunch of people's minds right now. And
I hope not.
Maybe we should move on.
No, but I mean, like, if they're going... All right, listen up, everyone. If you're going to start a cult of banjos, please send a bird so I can come and check it out with Swan.
Yeah, maybe we'll give you some design tips.
Design tips for your new lair.
Yes.
Right. All right, so Balthazar, you're going to stick around. I would
Sure.
kind of like to enjoy your take on some of these young adventurer questions. So, like, they
Oh,
send us questions and we
sure.
try to answer them. So, like, a cult member, like a different perspective, right? It's
Yeah.
always just us. So,
I'm happy
all
to
right.
give advice.
I don't
So-
like how you said that.
I mean, not a question, but something that does potentially pertain to young adventurers is the meeting that I had at WDCC this week.
I'm really sorry I skipped that.
I mean, you would have liked it, it was a little disappointing that you weren't there.
So
So
now I don't feel guilty at all.
WDCC doing a little rebranding, right?
Well, I
That's
mean, we're
part of
helping with that for sure.
Yeah, they want a new mascot.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
The other one was kind of dull and boring.
Well, I mean, I don't. They were the pirates, right? WCC.
Yeah, I
WDCC
guess I get.
pirates,
Yeah,
they're
all right.
probably
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
for a
yeah.
new-
Yeah, I get it now. Yeah,
Right.
they definitely need to change.
Right. And so there was a lot of, it was some ideas. They're trying to come through a process to figure out what the new mascot would be. I thought you'd be great at this. by
I
the
will
way.
now. I wish I was there. Like, do they have like a list of options? Like
I'm not
few.
even there yet. I mean, I think they're taking all kinds of suggestions.
All right. I mean, 'cause I could have some. Oh yeah, totally.
Well, throw them at me, man. What do you got?
I don't know, like the WDCC Cavaliers, right?
Okay.
Or the
Withering Doom.
no, dude.
It's a little strong.
That's
a little
that's
strong.
not exactly
That's
what we're
not-
looking for.
I mean, okay.
I just something like that, though, right? Something uplifting, like the Knights.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's cliche, but at least it's way better than pirates.
Pirates.
You know,
I mean, a lot of people bring their own, biases to what it should be. Right.
Like, what is Waterdeep known for other than intrigue and murder and politics?
Yeah, I
and...
don't want to go with the murderers. That's
Nope,
not a good call.
That's not a good one.
The
like,
intrigue.
Like the masked lords of WDCC,
The
like
Masked
that would
Lords.
be pretty cool,
That's
right?
not bad.
Yeah, and it's an homage to the rulers of Waterdeep, so maybe they could,
Right.
get a few coin from that, right?
Do you think they'd like being kind of like attention drawn to them, though?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think so a little bit, right? Yeah. I mean, have you not met some of the masked lords?
No, I haven't.
Oh God,
We don't really run in the same circles.
Fair.
No, you should really come to one of the balls. We should invite him to one of the balls. I think the masked lords would enjoy it because, like, half of them aren't even fucking masks. It's an unknown known, right? It's like, no one knows Mert the moneylender is really a masked lord. We all fucking know. I hope I'm not blowing up his spot. Actually, no, I kind of do. Who cares? He's a masked lord.
Good. No, this can't possibly go wrong.
I mean, I think Durnan was was one of those for a long time, and he would just tell people. It's not like he was hiding it. He just.
Well, I mean, Durnan's badass.
Well, yeah, I mean, him and Mert were the adventurers, right? Like
Right.
Durnan.
Durnan's
I think that's
badass.
why another reason the Yawning Portals has longevity, right? Like no one's going to come in here and start
Yeah.
because they know they're going to get fucked up. Right. All right. So we have to stop doing this. I digress, and then we move on. We don't move
All right.
on. I'm sorry.
So, anyway, come to the meeting. Next meeting is in 2 weeks about the mascot. Come up with some ideas. I don't think Masked Lord's a terrible thing. I'm not a lot of the Cavaliers.
Not in love with the knights either, if I'm being honest. It's kind of cliche, right?
Right.
I wouldn't mind the Waterdeep barbarians, right? Because a long time ago, before the settling of the city, it used to be basically an outpost that was set up just to stop the roving bands of barbarians that were here.
Oh, you know what? Let people send us their birds.
Yeah, if you have suggestions for the what mascot? Yeah, we'll call it the mascot. Yeah. If you have suggestions for the mascot, please send us to him, and we'll pitch him at the next meeting.
Yeah. All right.
So you have any more questions? You're a gnome, right?
Yes.
20.
I thought the nose gave it away.
Well, I mean, and the stature too. Wasn't there like a gnome thing coming
Yeah,
up?
there's a gnome holiday. You going to the Rowan Mask Festival?
The Rowan Mask Festival. Oh, that is coming up,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd almost forgotten. I got so busy.
I think we should explain that to the young adventurers out there. So, and listen, I'm not good at the religious stuff and the ceremony stuff, so I usually let Swanee handle all that, and he just tells me like where to go, how to stand, how to hold my hands, kind of thing.
So the Rowan Mask Festival, and I don't, you probably know better than me, so make sure I
Please
don't-
go ahead.
Right. It's one of the festivals I like. So I think his name was Rowan. It was Rowan Quinriggles.
Quinriggles.
Quinriggles was one of
That
the
was
early-
not the name of the guy who did Rowan Festival is named
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
right.
from the family of Quinriggles.
Right.
Wait, there's a lot of Quinriggles?
Oh yeah.
It was
So-
quite a famous family back in the day.
Okay, all right.
Right,
I'm not
so-
doubting it. I'm just.
He was one of the first gnomes that was sort of known for being a sailor, right? So he joined as a cabin boy and worked his way up to a sailor, and then worked his way up to captain, and eventually had a fleet of ships. And it was one of the ways in which the gnomes began to spread around the continent.
Is all this checking out with you?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god. How did I not know any of this? I really need to pay
I don't
attention.
know, man. I mean, because the festival's a lot of fun, right? Because as a cabin boy, his first job was to chase rats off of the boats with a broom, right? So that's why you see all the kids carrying around.
That's
the
why they have
brooms.
the brooms?
The brooms, right? And if you look hard, there's typically like a little fake felt mouse, right? The kids
Attached to the bottom of the broom.
right.
Right. Oh my god. Okay. So that's the whole point of that?
Well, and then there's a festival
Stop it.
and the broom and they sing the sea shanties. Right? Sea shanties are a good time, and then
Yeah, I mean, I do love a good sea shanty. And it usually ends up with, like, we have tons of ale and,
Yeah.
like, gnomes. People, I don't know if a lot of people don't know this. A lot of younger adventurers, like, gnomes can make some booze, man.
They
Like,
can.
you guys are really good at that.
It is, yeah,
I don't want to
the
paint with
dwarves
that
are
broad of a
very
brush,
broad.
right? I'm sorry. But, like, by and large,
Yes, we tend to specialize, but you can get into some really intricate breweries. It's
right.
very-
Everything has a
distilleries,
flavor,
really.
too, right? Like, it's just...
Right, I mean, anybody can make your basic, like, potato vodka, but if you get into the specialized flavors, that's really where we excel.
It takes a real artist to make some of the stuff you guys are pumping out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and so, I don't know. I always, like, blacked out in an alley with a broom surrounded me.
Yeah, I mean yeah.
It's a great festival for the rats in the basement trick, too.
Yes.
Come again?
Well, I mean,
Walk me through that.
Okay, so, like, I mean, you've probably heard the shtick, and, I mean, there's a couple people, I was freelancers that do this earlier.
all
It's
right.
great, like, for cults, they say, oh, you brave, strong young people with your brooms, come chase these giant rats out
Go
of my
kill
basement.
rats in the cellar. Yes,
Right.
yes, the old cliche.
And then you
right,
go down
right,
there
right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
you chase out the rats, and, oh, where did all these giant rats come from? Look at this crumbly back wall has a secret passage in it that leads down to a cult, and oh, no, I'm being sacrificed to an elder god. I mean, it's a pretty standard bit.
Like, I feel like that's just a weird, like like
I mean,
guess
it's good training.
Yeah,
Right?
that
It
and
gets
like
you into the mindset early on.
there is still a connection between Rowan Wrigglesmith and
It kind
cults.
of gets it on everyone's mind.
Squin Wriggles, but okay.
Sorry.
Right, get the name.
I used to call it the Broom Festival.
Right, I
Remember that?
know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right. But
I didn't even
everyone's
know that
like,
was- I didn't
normally
know that
people
was-
aren't very excited to chase rats out of a basement, but during the Gwynwriggle Festival, it's all the rage.
Yeah, well, I mean, how often is it a 1 year? Is it a 5 year? Is it a 2
It's
year?
a yearly.
Is it annually?
Yeah.
Holy shit. God.
I mean, some of the ones have been bigger because it was like his 100th anniversary.
Right.
Oh.
And it's hard to remember them because of all the gnomish specialty drinks that you... So you
Right.
can kind of... did I go to that year? I think I went to that year.
Also, the gnomish calendar is not like the regular calendar either, right? You guys have like some type of special weird calendar.
It does shift
Right.
at-
It's
like
on
the
which
13
date
months.
it's on.
yeah, it's weird, right? It's like
Yeah,
it
a little
doesn't. Yeah, all right.
First full moon after the first equinox of the
Right,
12th
you
spring
lost me
and-
after
yeah.
the first full moon, dude. I checked out immediately. All right, but yeah, all right. So yeah, so everybody should go celebrate that
Yeah.
and party with our gnome friends.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great plan.
You,
Go chase rats out of a basement and whatnot.
Definitely go chase rats out of a basement. There's no cult activity involved.
Don't listen to anything he just said.
Wink.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's definitely cult activity in basements.
Are you in the Are you typically part of the sea shanty chorus?
I never quite had the voice for it.
Yeah.
So I'll try and do like some of the background stuff, but like they don't have a lot of instruments playing during the sea shanty
that's
things.
true.
I can beat a good drum,
Right.
but
Yeah, all right. Yeah. You know who
And
else?
I only know some of them, like, because I'm not a gnome, right? But Temple of Gone.
you do know some of the sea shanties.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
we
mean,
we sailed the seas for a while just
Little
as
bit.
pirate hunters, and so we would like learn the sea shanties from the
Did
sailors.
you? That would explain why that cult lasted so long if you were out at sea. The one who was
Ironically, we're out to take on a pirate cult. But,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
it's not, whatever. It's all right.
right, but the one I was in at the time probably
You mean
lasted a bit
lasted
longer because
longer?
you weren't around. No.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we were out to sea, and you were.
Right.
Yeah, it was growing. Sure. Makes
All
sense.
right. Did you progress to mid-level on that one too?
Yeah.
Any questions from other young adventurers this week, Swanee?
I do. So here's a big question, right? It's actually not really from a new adventurer. This is more of a slightly established adventurer, or adventuring party,
All right.
But they're about to take on their first dragon.
Ugh.
Ew.
Did they know how old?
It doesn't say particularly old. I don't think they're taking on an ancient dragon, because if you're taking on an ancient dragon,
Don't.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
it should
that's-
not be your first attempt.
No, that should definitely not be. You don't just jump into the ropes course.
Right. But we worked our way up through a number of younger dragons.
Right? Yeah. And we've actually made peace with a few of the older ancient chromatic ones that we just, were able to, like old Gnawbones, we've caught her on the road and given each other a wide berth because
Yeah. In
it's
fact,
not-
we killed some dragons on behalf of another dragon.
we didn't know that at the time.
No.
But that happened, right? That was that old gold dragon that like gave us the old task, and then poof, he's a large, terrifying gold dragon.
Yep.
Right, I
Yep.
remember that. So if this is their first encounter with a fully grown dragon, at least I'm guessing.
I'm guessing.
All right. Red, stay out of fireball formation. Right. Blue, do not get in a line. Right. Black is poison. Right. It's
Poison. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right,
I think
and-
so.
Green was acid.
Yeah. Nope. Green is poison. Black is acid.
All right.
Like, remember to not stand too close together, so that you don't get their breath weapons. Right.
So our we learned this later. Our approach for dragons was research
Spread out.
and distract.
Right, and there was also, if it's a thing you can, to have the feast beforehand that makes you like particularly braver,
Helpful.
right?
Yeah,
So you
make sure
don't,
you're feeling good.
And you don't get scared
Stretching
immediately.
is good. Making sure you don't pull a thing.
Yeah, I don't understand why you did that. You shouldn't stretch before you go into battle. Like that's how you pull something.
Right.
Like stretch, like afterwards, so you can keep everything limber.
But
Also, it helps to have a giant barbarian to run in.
Very helps.
Yeah.
Right. But research is important. Like if you have the time, right? Get to the cave. Usually it's a cave
It's always a cave.
where the dragon is, and then camp there, and then wait for another adventuring party to come through, and let them try and tackle the dragon first, and see how they die.
That's solid advice.
Yeah, so I really felt bad about that, but oh my god, it worked out so
Yeah.
well for us. And that happened by accident the first time, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Like, we were in there, and I was
want to say that we had we fell victims to some pocket bacon.
Right.
We just were not up for
Yep.
making the.
I was really feeling shitty. You were feeling shitty, and we just decided to take a rest before we go in and tackle the dragon. And that party of dwarves ran in
Right.
first, and we were just like, "All right, let's see how this goes." And then when we had to fight another dragon, we may or may not have paid a party that had the not quite the reputation of doing good
100%.
things, right? They were total assholes.
Yeah.
But we did slip them a few hundred gold because it was an investment to go check out this cave and see if there's a dragon in it. They fought the dragon, and we were able to kind of clean up the mess afterwards.
Right. They went straight in. We knew exactly what the dragon's first couple of attacks were going to be.
And I suppose you got the investment back of the gold.
Oh my
yeah.
God, and then some. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We actually got their gold back because they were dead.
Right.
Right,
Yeah, they were so dead. Like, woo,
Fried
dead.
chicken dead.
Right, yeah. That was an ancient red dragon. That was our first adventure with an ancient red dragon.
Oh,
I don't know if
dear.
you've ever fought an ancient red dragon, but my advice would be don't.
It's not really in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, dude, don't. It's not in anyone's wheelhouse. They're terrifying. They're
It sounds
giant,
like it.
evil, just powerful, old, crafty things that don't care about all except burning and eating and
And
hoarding.
they're quite good at both.
They're amazing at all of that.
Yes.
So, I mean, I hope that answers that question. It's like, research,
Research, distract.
right, and spread out.
I have a question about that.
Sure.
What do you do if it gets off of the ground?
Well-
Because, I mean, your giant barbarian friend was always very dangerous, like, up close, and I couldn't get away from him because I'm gnome and I can't fly.
Well, typically, I would cast Fly on Thud, and
Oh.
then you'd be amazing how much more effective he is when he's flying around.
That
And
actually is a terrifying thought.
Yeah, right?
It was fucking
Huh.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You can imagine a 7.5 foot, almost 8 foot tall raging barbarian who also happens to be able to fly at like a super fast speed and is like carrying other things to hit you. It's fucking terrifying.
Yes.
But yeah, and that which one of our friends had that spell that bound things to the earth? Was that the druid? I feel like that was the druid. Because it wasn't me.
I mean, he had the vine spell.
Right. And you could like a hand came up and grabbed it. I mean,
Yeah.
like I could do Bigby's hand, but like that was really not as
that's
effective.
just like grasping vines, or
There was a whole bunch of crazy shit. We had a few things that we could do to like secure it to the ground to make sure that it couldn't fly away. Now, if we're in the lair of the dragon and it decides to fly away,
Right.
fucking let it, man. Then just take as much treasure as you can carry and f off.
I suppose that is more expedient, isn't it?
Right? You don't need to kill it, especially if you can get it to leave. If you can do enough damage so it's going to leave its own lair and just like leave all of its treasure. Yeah, take that as a win, man.
yeah. Nobody wants to see a mounted dragon headed above the bar anyway.
I don't know. It's kind of cool. That's an aesthetic I can get behind.
That's really bad luck, though. I mean,
That depends on what color, right? Like if you go into a bar and there's like a blue dragon's head on the bar, like, oh man, these adventurers must have gotten some shit. But I can see how you could think it would be the other way, because like every other blue dragon and or like dragon
coming
cult
coming for vengeance.
yeah,
or
they're
dragon
coming.
cults.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Good point.
I feel like people would start keeping track of that.
No doubt.
Like the next dragon cult that comes up is going to be like, oh look, who do we need to sacrifice for
Oh,
our
that-
dragon ritual?
All of those people. Yes.
And
Right.
here's a good selection of them.
So we went through your history. I don't remember hearing a dragon cult in your history.
Oh, well, I've kind of been on the periphery. They're not so much into the necromancy side of things, which has kind of been my
Like your chosen cult.
my
is one-
calling card. Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know if there's a reason to steer clear of dragon-based cults.
no, it's just kind of a different, like, aesthetic, right? Like, if you get into the necromancy side of things, there are certain career paths open to you. Dragon cults are... The ritual circles are very different. There's a lot of covering people in blood, which is, I mean, like, because a lot of them are, like, creating half-dragons,
Right. So like
right?
logistically challenging.
Right, it's just it's a different sort of skill set to learn. So I don't have a lot of experience with them, but there are some good ones around. I actually had...
Good dragon cult.
Of course. I mean, well, from my side
Relatively,
of things,
yeah, I
right?
get
I had some fellows come in. What was it? The like really pale fellows with the shade, the elves from the
Shadowcat.
from Shadowfell. Yes, the Shadowcat. Yes. Some friends of some friends. They were in town, and a friend asked me if I could get them hooked up with some of the local cult business while they were around.
You could just introduce someone to that network?
Yeah. Well.
Oh, can we talk after? I kind of want to get into that.
Oh, sure. I mean.
Yeah, maybe I'll explore some cult actions, Swanee. What do you think?
No.
All right, maybe not.
I mean, you could if you're interested.
I mean,
Are
I'm
you
kinda-
like, hey, I'm interested in joining a cult, or you were like, I'm interested in? Okay, I see.
Right.
You're winking at me.
Dude, it's...
We're retired.
I know, but like... All right.
Tired.
Yep, I know. And I keep doing this to myself.
Right. You were complaining 2 weeks ago about how we keep getting sucked into the unretired life.
Yep, nope, you're absolutely right. All right, I'm going to
It
stop
does
now.
come back to you.
Right. Any other questions this week, or have we really rambled on enough to
We've
this?
rambled on quite a bit, but that's all right. So, Balthazar, what's next for you?
Oh, well, I've got eye on a couple of cults that I'm looking for, and do some time here while I'm looking for the next thing. But try and find some interesting cults. I'll probably be around the bar for a little bit, though, before I can get some leads on some interesting work being done somewhere. I'm really looking for, like, an Eldritch God next. I think it would be a nice change of pace.
Nice.
All All right. If you do want some work that's unrelated to
Yeah.
cults, I can probably help you out, man.
Yeah, work sounds really terrible.
Okay, if you want to... All right.
Do I get to unravel esoteric mysteries of the universe?
Nope. That would not be involved in the work that I had in mind.
Yeah, see, that's not really my thing.
Man knows what he likes.
I don't know. If you're into esoteric mysteries, I imagine an eldritch god's your man. Or girl,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
Thing.
yeah. That's what makes
or
it
tentacles.
so exciting.
Whatever. Yeah.
Mostly tentacles.
So any advice for anybody looking to get into the cult life?
Learn a trade.
Learn a trade. We covered that one, yeah.
Yeah. Make sure, if you're working for a lich, make sure they're at least 500 years old.
Really? That's an age requirement, do you think?
I mean, younger than that, they get really worked up about timelines and things. Like, I have lived for... They're always human, right? And I have lived for 300 years. It's like, okay, I know elves with pointy shoes older than you. Can we move it along? But once they hit 500, they kind of cool down a bit. And if a group of adventurers comes in and ruins things, and you have to go and tell a 200-year-old lich, oh, I'm sorry, we've missed the alignment of the planets, and we're not going to be able to complete the ritual for another 100 years, he's going to throw a fit. Yeah. But if you have to, tell the same thing to an elder god, he who sleeps endlessly among the stars is going to take a power nap, and we'll be back next century to try it again.
Yeah. I guess it's all relative, yeah.
So, yeah, learn a trade. You don't want to be the guy shoveling poop.
Less than 300, they're like lich toddlers, is what I'm hearing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty worked up about the lich thing still. Yeah. They kind of cool off after a while, and you can settle in.
They still smell like they have that new carriage smell.
Yeah. They haven't quite settled into the desiccated part where it kind of cools off a bit.
Their phylactery doesn't even have any patina on it yet. I get it.
You're still going to be around a lot of, fresher zombies, but...
I mean, that has to have some advantages, right? The fresher ones haven't stunk, and then the older ones are too old to stink. It's like middle ground probably sucks.
Right, exactly. So if you're in the middle management, you get to choose which zombies you're raising and controlling all the time.
All right. I didn't think about that, right? You don't have to have the older ones. You
Right.
can either have the older ones or the newer ones. You don't have to have that in between where skin is sloughing off.
Right, those are for the new guys that oh, you get all the bloated corpses today.
That makes perfect sense, right?
So I guess here's a random question. If you end up working for a really old lich,
Yeah.
is it ever awkward? Because an 800-year-old lich is going to have a very different fashion sense. Make all of his followers dress in 800-year-old
Yeah, there
fashion.
are specific fashion requirements for them. And
A lot of tassels.
yeah, you would actually be surprised how many tailors we have to hire to maintain the cult.
So if you want to work for a good cult, you should really learn the tailor craft.
It's helpful. I mean, when the adventurers show up, we're not sending out, the blacksmiths and the tailors to go,
Right. And that
slow
also,
them down coming in.
that's why you all have the exact same outfit.
Right.
You have tailors.
Yep.
This is making a lot more sense the more we get into this.
I'm telling you, a lot of thought goes into the cult work.
It just doesn't seem like it should, though.
No, because we just show up at the end like assholes.
Yeah, basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's high volume. We honestly work with a lot of the same people who do the guards' uniforms.
really?
Yes.
So the people that did the Waterdeep uniform are also tailoring cult uniforms?
Some of them, yes.
Oh my god,
Depending on-
when we don't know about this, I feel like we should know about that. Or at least the guards should know about that.
Why?
Maybe I guess, hey, young adventurers, there might be an in if you're trying to figure out where a cult is. Go talk to a tailor and see if they've made a few hundred of the exact same robes.
Right, did you do a batch of crimson robes recently?
Yeah, exactly. That's a
I
great
don't
tip.
think that tailor's got to be smart enough to not drop a dime on.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, they
there's
don't ask too many
compulsive.
questions.
We can compulsory,
You could compel a tailor, sure.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
But then you're just a guy going tailor to tailor, beating them up or casting spells
I
on them.
wouldn't beat them up. I would just use, some mind domination spells. And we could
It's
leave-
much better.
Really, the hard part
it
is
is much better.
the hard part is sometimes selling it to the tailors because some of them are yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but some of them are oh, why do you need a 400-year-old style of robe? It's oh, it's for a historic play that we're
there
doing.
you go.
Also, nobody wants to make 500 of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
The bulk ordering is
Right.
difficult.
Right.
All
We're
right, Swan.
reenactors.
I
That's
can-
what we are. We're
Yeah.
going to reenact this.
Dude, I can't handle it anymore this week. We really... All right. Hey, Balthazar, thanks for joining us, and we'd love you to come back maybe and tell us about your new cult endeavors, I guess.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. It's good to see you in an environment where you're not trying to kill everyone, I know.
Well, I mean, they were also killing a lot of people, if I remember correctly. So
We had sacrificed some orphans that week, so.
Yeah, we can't allow... all right, so until next time, I am Oliver Redboots. Please send your questions to @Flagon, and they'll come to here to Dernan, or to @S Maulsmith, or to @Oliver Redboots. And I'm sure you can find Balthazar out there in the world if you want to send him
Please
a bird.
don't. Yeah, don't try and find me.
All right, don't try and find him. All right, Swan, you got anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, let's go get drunk.
All right, let's do that. Have a good week, everybody.
All right, everybody, be kind. See you later.